Hey guys, so I'm here, um, hanging out. It's Halloween, or it was Halloween, a couple hours ago actually. It's about 1:48 a.m. when I'm recording this, and basically, I just thought I'd tell you guys a story in this video because the last video I felt like I didn't really get to talk as much because I was reacting too much to the game. So this video will be a little bit different. I'll be just putting some gameplay here. You guys will get to see me kick some ass in Skullgirls. And meanwhile, I'll just be talking about whatever I want, and I won't really have to rely on the game. So I'll see which one I like better. I might do videos in this style, and then maybe have videos in the other style, depending on what kind of video it'll be. But anyways, let's get to the topic of this discussion, this story that I want to tell you guys. So as of August, there's 2 months ago, maybe almost 3 months now. Actually, is November. Um, I moved into a college campus, which is pretty cool. I've got to live here. I got a cool roommate. I have a really nice room. But you see, the main problem is we've been having some mice problems, and people who live close to where I am usually are used to these. But I actually moved a couple hours away from home to go to camp, like on campus here, and I'm not used to having mice problems. See, we have rats where I live, and those usually stay outside, but mice apparently just like to come inside and mess with your food and shit, so it's pretty new to me. And so my roommate is really good at detecting mice, because I guess where he lives, they're used to them, so he's always like, sensing them or hearing them or smelling them or something, so we're always like on the lookout for mice these last few months. And actually, this today will mark 5 mice that we've caught. So it's actually been pretty active season for these mice. They're just hanging out in our room. We feel like it's because it's the closest one to the door. We live in the kind of the floor under the lobby, so it's like prime time for mice just chilling here in the area we're living. And basically what's happened is it all started with the first mouse, which we weren't even expecting. It was just one day I was on the computer kind of chilling, playing some game. I don't remember what it was, but I paused it because my roommate's like, hey, come check this out. And usually he doesn't really tell me to come check anything out, because what am I going to go check out? Like, oh, look, the fridge is here. It's like, yeah, nothing really happens in the room is what I'm getting at. And so I'm like, okay, what the hell's this? Like, he's telling me to check something out. And I look behind the fridge. He takes me over and he's like, hey, look behind the fridge. And we look down at these traps. And these traps, get this, these traps, they look like they're built for moths, because they're sticky and they're flat, and they have substance that like keeps whatever falls on them on there, like it sticks them to the trap. So it's like an adhesive kind of thing. So if you were to put your finger on there, you'd have to like pry it off. Might actually hurt a little bit because they're pretty strong. So I always figured it was for like flies or moths or something that you put on there, and they just can't get back, so they just get stuck there and die eventually. But no, these are actually for mice. So of course when I look at the fridge, go figure, there's a mouse there, and it's like freaking out, twitching everywhere, like, trying to get the hell off. And we're like, oh god, what do we do? So we're just like, the first thing we think to do is what they tell us, when we move in is, tell your RA if there's ever a problem, your room administrator, or whatever the A stands for. And for us, it's a girl, and she's basically the one who lives on the floor and kind of hangs out and advises us if we need anything. And so we're like, okay, we'll just tell her about it. We don't really know what the protocol for mice is here. Like, we're not sure if this is like a big deal or not. So we go tell her, or I go tell her. I go to her room. She's like 4 doors down. And I'm like, I ring the doorbell, and I'm like, okay, hey, what's up? She's like, hey, what's up? She's real happy at first. And I'm like, oh, we found a mouse. And she just instantly gets quiet and like looks at me and doesn't know what to say and like kind of clenches up. And I'm like, oh boy. And she's like, yeah. And then she just can't talk. And I'm like, so we have a mouse. And she just won't say anything. And she's like, is it dead? And we're like, no. And she's like, oh god, it's alive. And we're like, yeah. And she's like, it's not running around, is it, or anything? And I'm like, no, it's just on this trap. And she's like, oh god, it's trapped. It's like, poor thing. And I'm like, well, see, actually, we're the ones with the problem here. The mouse, we're just gonna, get rid of it or whatever. I don't really care. And she's making like a big deal out of it. Like, oh god, you gotta get rid of this mouse. So she comes over to our room and like, she sees the mouse, and She's like, "Oh man, okay, this is kind of a big deal." She can't even look at it. Like she's just staring at it for a little bit, and then she like winces every time it moves, and we're just like, "Okay, we need to get her away from this thing. She's not helping very much." And then she basically just says, "Yeah, I don't really know what to do with mice. This isn't. They didn't train me for this." And we're like, "Oh great, this is exactly what we needed." So we, me and my roommate, kind of like poke not at the mouse but at the trap to try to get it like from behind the fridge. Uh, and basically let's see, it what did it do? This was a while ago, mind you. This was the start of the mouse hunts. Um, it like freaked out, and so we're freaking out. We don't know what to do with it, so we get the bright idea. Okay, let's just take it out to the back and try to get it off the pad, like the trap thing, and just let it run free. So we take it out to the back, like the stairs. We have like these stairs off the back of the building that kind of like lead down into the parking lot. And so we're hanging out there on the stairs. Like people just walk by and see us. We're just chilling with this mouse trap. And the RA reads somewhere on the internet that the mousetrap like gets it becomes less sticky if you pour olive oil on it. So she runs to get olive oil, then comes back. So get this, my roommate and I are trying to like get this mouse off with a stick, and then the RA comes back with this olive oil and just like dumps it on the mice's feet, but she like misses and like dumps it all over the mouse. So this poor mouse is twitching on this trap, trying to get the fuck off, and like just getting dumped like all over with olive oil. Dude's just getting like waterboarded with fucking fine, all like extra virgin olive oil, and he's just like, what the hell's going on? Eventually, like the trap just unstickies and his feet like pry off, and then he kind of has like muscular dystrophy, like he's used to being stuck on this trap, so he's like freaking the fuck out. He doesn't know what to do. So he's like arms are all twitching, but eventually he kind of gets used to being able to walk again, and he walks away. So my roommate's like, fuck this, I got class, I also have class, and we're just like, okay, this is cool, I guess we did our good deed for the day. And, we think, okay, mouse karma will catch up, they'll leave us alone now. Their friend will go tell us about the cool guys and let him go, and, no, that didn't happen. I'm out of town, and my roommate texts me, and he's like, hey, I caught another mouse, because the night we go to sleep, like that night, or maybe the next night, like, he thinks that he smells another mouse, and then later he hears a mouse, and then, like, we wake up at, like, 3 a.m., and he like swears that he heard something, so he's like rummaging through all the shit because he wants to get this over with. This is a big problem. Like we can't fucking live with mice constantly rummaging through our stuff, smelling up the place, like pooping everywhere. So he puts a trap underneath his desk with a like granola bar and like a spoon. It was pretty like intricate. Like this dude had like monster hunting like tips and tricks book or some shit for mice because he knows how to set up a goddamn trap. So he's got this like spoon set up with peanut butter on it, a granola bar, all like perfectly positioned on another one of those mice traps. It's like sticky, so he's like, yeah, come get it, fuckers, come eat. So this guy, he puts the thing on the mouse trap, and like basically he's not knowing if this is gonna work. He's not knowing if they're gonna fall for it or anything, but eventually they do, and I'm gonna tell you more about that next time, guys, because I'm realizing that I took a little bit longer than I did, but thanks for listening.